doing some stuff on his own at the moment. Is that just management, or is there a concern there?
No concern. He's 100% fine, and part of his management program to coming back to play, and he's always going to require a bit of a modified training schedule over the next probably 8 weeks. I said post-game, I think he'd probably take 8 weeks to get back to his brilliant best, and this is all just part of that.
Have you done anything differently, Brad, to try and do something about the slow starts this week?
Yeah, we did the opposite to what we did last year when we had trouble finishing off games. So when we were a great starting side and poor finishing side, so now we're a poor starting side and a good finishing side. So fortunately, the middle part of our game's going okay. We've just got to fix the rest of it.
Have you sought help outside the club or someone to come in and speak to the players about that, just to try and something different?
No, I think if you're alluding to it's a psychological issue, then no, it's not. It's not that at all. Well, I don't feel it is anyway. I said after the game I didn't have the answer, and I suppose what I meant by that is I didn't have the solution. I mean, in terms of the what's going on with our slow starts, we've been beaten in contested possession early in games, certainly by the Gold Coast and by Geelong. We were beaten on the outside of the contest, and we didn't take our chances going forward. So really it's just footy. It's nothing to do with the mindset going in. Our players are going in, I think, with a terrific mindset, but we're not executing. So it's taken us a bit of time to get going. But if it was a constant, I'd be more worried if it was a consistent problem going throughout the game, that we didn't start well and we just completely capitulated. And I suspect if we played that game against Geelong 3 years ago and started the way we did, we would have completely capitulated and lost by 12 plus goals. So it's not far away. When we put together the start with the rest of it, I think we're confident we can play our best footy and compete against anyone.
Is Griner coming back in this week?
I doubt it. He'll have to train fully today, and I don't think he'll train fully today. So our medical staff always leave it up to the last minute to do their assessments on whether they'll train. And but as of this morning, he didn't look like he'd do that. So he's a really important player, so he won't play until he trains fully.
Is that a shame, given the key forwards that West Coast have?
Oh yeah, but it just gives someone else an opportunity. I mean, Tippett going out stretches us even further. But we've got real confidence in the depth of our key position stocks, both forward and back. And sure, it's frustrating that Tarrant and Ben Brown and Tippett and Grimer and all haven't been available at different stages, but that just provides opportunity for others, and we're really confident we've got the depth to cover it.
Who do you throw the challenge to? Who do you throw the challenge to then?
To which
to go back and play?
Oh well, quite often this year we play 4 key position defenders, so it's a matter of whether we bring in a 4th key defender to cover Tippett, or whether we just go with the 3.
What is Robbie's injury, and is he going to be out for much longer?
Well, you hope not. We think he'll be out there training today, and he's moving really well the last couple of weeks. But when a player's been out for this long, it's not just the injury itself. He's had a lower leg injury, which is fine. It's just a matter of now getting enough training volume into him. So medically he's cleared to play, but he'll need more conditioning before he's right to play. So we're hoping about 2 weeks.
Will Magic play?
Good question. We'll have to weigh that up. We're not fully decided yet, but I think he gives us a really... he adds a lot to the mix of our footy side. It's not just purely his output, it's how he helps others, and he's really important ruck relief for Todd Goldstein, and Drew Petrie really likes having him in the forward line because of his speed and agility, but it's a matter of Majac's positioning that we've got to work on. So we don't think we're going to fix that in one game, but we're confident we're on the right track.
He's been in the spotlight a bit this week. How's he coped with that?
He's been in the spotlight since he arrived in Australia, so he's coped with it like he has over the last 5 years with aplomb. He's a really mature young man. He's had to handle a lot of different things over his life, but this is not one of the major ones.
It was one of the major talking points of last year, watching Nick Nat and Majak go against each other, though. Are you going to rob fans of that?
I hope not. No, I genuinely, I've said publicly, I think he's a really important part of our short, medium, long term. So I'm convinced about the medium, long term, and the short term we've got to do what's right for the side. And we haven't made that decision yet, and it'll be exciting to see them go at it again.
Why do you feel you've played well interstate this year?
No reason. I've had that question put to me in reverse about why is our record so poor interstate. and it's usually because, good teams win anywhere, and we're just aiming on becoming a good team, and we're not that yet because we haven't been able to produce our best consistently like good teams do. So we just approach this game like we would if we were playing West Coast at Etihad, which we haven't done for 4 years, I think. But we just approach it the same way.
Are you surprised you're going back to Perth so soon after the last trip? It seems every time you go there, you've got about 2 or 3 weeks before you go back again.
No. We love going to Perth. It's our, we've got our Melbourne and our Hobart supporter base, but Perth's our third biggest supporter base, and our fans love seeing us there, and we're locked in for 2 games every year, it seems.
Do you take confidence out of the fact that the 2 teams the Eagles have lost to over there this year you've beaten already, Port and Freo, or is that extrapolating probably a bit too far?
No, I think it's you look at the teams they've beaten, and you can probably, people have drawn a bit of a long bow, I think, in the past, saying that they've beaten bottom sides. But I thought last week against Collingwood they were outstanding, produced some really good footy and finals type footy. So I think looking back that far is probably too far. I'd only look back to last week and say they were a really competitive side against a good side in Collingwood away from home.
Expecting Aaron Mullet to come back in this week?
He'll be right up for selection again. It's he's missed a game, so missed 2 games, so it's going to be a matter of him training at top speed, and we'll look at his GPS numbers really closely and make sure that he's back to his quickest. And if he's not perfect, he won't play, but if he is, I suspect he will.
Pointed out, but it looks like Drew Petrie's copped a poke in the left eye right now. That wouldn't be ideal, would it?
As long as he's not standing on anyone's foot, it's fine.
Mate,
it's a joke, Drew.
Mason Wood been pressing pretty hard for his debut. Is he a chance this weekend?
No, he's not, unfortunately. Mason won't train today. He's a little bit sore from a game on the weekend he had for Werribee, and it's really unfortunate because he was right in the mix. I think he's a leading goal kicker in the VFL, and looking really dangerous as a forward, and I think that he would have put real pressure on some of our other forwards had he been available, but he's unavailable with injury, unfortunately.
Do you have nightmares about Nick Natanui's mark and subsequent goal?
No, not really. I probably did in the week after it, but I moved on pretty quickly, and look, what a great fixture it was for West Coast. I mean, it was really exciting for their home crowd and for their players, and bitterly disappointing for us. But I mean, as sadistic as it sounds, I look at those opportunities or those events as opportunities to improve, and it burned pretty badly there for a week or so, but we got over it and we're a better side because of it.
Did beating Freo over there help any mental sort of issues with Subiaco? The win, does it help you going into this one? Not
really. I mean, I think while we didn't win the game against West Coast, we felt we were in control of the game for most of it. All the Fremantle win did is show that we can be competitive on that ground again, and I've said even before we play West Coast in the final over there, I think the ground tends to suit the way we want to play. We certainly didn't prove it in that final, but since then, boys have felt pretty comfortable out there and enjoyed playing in Perth.
Indigenous round this weekend, any reflections or what it means to you, the club?
Oh, certainly what it means to the club. I mean, I've said to our players, it's really important to Lindsay Thomas and Daniel Wells, and therefore it's really important to us. We support our players really strongly, and Lindsay and Daniel Wells, are the current Indigenous custodians of our football club, but we've got a great Indigenous heritage. It goes back to the Cracker brothers and before that. So, as I said, it's really important to them, so it's really important to us.